Okay, welcome back to How to Become an MVP. I hope you like my Mr. Beard shirt. How's that? Styly. My wife got me this shirt. I like it. Apart from the hair, he's got more than it's necessary, I think. Anyhow, the topic of this show is really, really important, and that is reach or audience size. And you'd like go, listen, why is that important in how to become an MVP? Why is reach important? And do you know what? It's absolutely critically important. Because when you are assessed to become, whether you qualify to become an MVP, I've talked about what a Microsoft look for. I've talked about, what was the data contribution? What was the area? What was the type of contribution? And, where can they find evidence of that? A hyperlink to whatever, whether it was a user group you spoke at, etc. And then how many people were there? In other words, how many people did it reach? And it's a very important thing that Microsoft look at in the consideration of whether you should be in the program. So therefore, if you're going to be nominated to becoming an MVP, consider what are you doing to make sure your reach is documented and easily validatable. What am I talking about? I'm talking about you need to show the reach of how many people are engaging with your content. In other words, how much ultimately influence that you have in the community, because that is a key driver to becoming an MVP. So sometimes it's hard to measure, but you need to measure. First of all, on your website, you should have Google Analytics installed. And you should be tracking things, probably two most important things. Hits are irrelevant, by the way. Don't tell me you've had 1 million hits. Hits are irrelevant because every time a request is made to your server, it's a hit. Whip-dee-doo. There's two metrics that are critically important. One is page views that you're getting, and the other is particularly unique users, right? Because users filter out in Google Analytics things like bots and other indexing type things that are looking at your site. It's considering, is this a person that is engaging with your content, right? For reach, those are kind of the two things that I would be looking at very seriously and making sure in your contributions that they are mentioned. So what does this look like, for example, on Twitter? You should access Twitter Analytics. What does it look like? What is your reach that you're having on Twitter? How many followers, but engagements, how many people or impressions are seeing that post that you put out there? That is important. Not so much the followers, but the engagement and the reach once again on those posts. Facebook Analytics. Have you taken a look at them? What is your reach? What can you demonstrate or show the reach of the audience you're engaging with? YouTube's another one. What's the watch time on your videos? How many people are subscribing to your channel? How many people are commenting? This is all an indicator of reach. How many times has a video been watched? Absolutely critically important. LinkedIn, how many views you're getting. Once again, what's the commenting? Likes and these type of things, they're cool, but the power really comes in the engagement, that people are finding it value, and that ultimately people are viewing and consuming your content. But you've got to be able to demonstrate this reach. User group attendance, how many people are in the room? If you're speaking in a user group, just count up how many are there, because you need to add that to your audience reach when you make that submission. I can't stress enough how important it is to be able to demonstrate reach. A lot of people think, hey, just create good content and you will be fine. Listen, you can create the best content out there. If no one hears about it, if no one reads it or consumes it, you don't fit the profile of the MVP that Microsoft are looking for. Microsoft need MVPs that are evangelizing, that are sharing their experiences, that are helping other people in the community, and this comes down to reach. If you're mentoring people, are you tracking that mentoring? How much time are you spending? How frequently, and who it is that you're mentoring, right? You need to, once again, track these things. If you're selling a book or creating a book, how many people are reading that book? How many people are engaging or basically purchasing and consuming that book? If it's published on Amazon, you're going to get analytics around these things. So when I talk about reach is really the analytics, right? It's the measurement stick that Microsoft uses to understand your level of influence compared to everybody else's level of influence in the community. And it's important in various geographies, there'll be different levels of influence. but you need to be able to demonstrate this very clearly. It's critically important. I can't, it's really important. I hope you get that. How much reach do you have with the content you are creating? Make sure you're tracking it. Make sure you can demonstrate it if you're asked for that information. You can take screenshots, etc. if there's a request from Microsoft for you on that information. I hope you found that helpful. It should be if you really understand the importance of it. I will say no more, but if you have comments or feedback you want to leave me, do it in the comments below. Share this video if you think it's worthy of sharing. Only if it's worthy of sharing. If you think it sucks, do not share it. I don't expect you to. But once again, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to hear these or see these videos every Monday is when I put them out there on YouTube. Hope that was helpful. Bye for now.